Chapter 5, Drawn to the Fire, where Aiden spent the next 3 days trying not to think about Elias. He failed miserably. Every quiet moment, every breath before sleep, every pause in the middle of a thought, Elias's voice would surface again. You're not alone. You're not wrong. I see you. Aiden didn't intend to dress differently for the next session. He didn't plan to. He didn't stand in front of the mirror trying on 3 different shirts before choosing the soft black one that made his shoulders look sharper and his jawline cleaner. He didn't think about Elias when he rolled his sleeves up, exposing the forearms he normally hid. At least, that's what he told himself. Truthfully. Each decision was small, subtle, but intentional, as if part of him hoped Elias would notice, as if another part feared he would. Walking to the office, Aiden's heartbeat was uneven, anticipation and dread forming a tangled knot in his stomach. He tried to steady his breathing, but each step only made the anxiety worse. He didn't know what he wanted from today. He just knew he wanted something. He arrived precisely on time. The receptionist smiled. He'll be ready in just a moment. Aiden nodded, palms sweating. He waited in the same chair, tapping a rhythm against his knee that grew faster with every passing second. The door opened, and then Elias appeared. His expression softened instantly when he saw Aiden, a subtle shift, but it carried warmth that Aiden felt deep in his ribs. Aiden, Elias said quietly. Come in. The moment they entered the therapy room, Aiden felt the familiar pull. Something between comfort and danger, like stepping into a warm room after standing in the cold for hours. Except this warmth terrified him too. Aiden sat. Elias took his usual place across from him. But today, Elias looked unsettled. Not visibly so, but Aiden had learned to read him. The small tension around his jaw, the faint crease between his brows, the way his hands folded a little too tightly in his lap. You seem different, Aiden said cautiously. Elias blinked. Do I? Yeah. Like you didn't sleep. Or like something's bothering you. Aiden didn't mean to sound so concerned. But the words came out soft, almost tender. Elias exhaled. Sometimes the work we do stays with us, he said. Therapists are human too. Aiden's brows drew together. Is it because of me? Elias hesitated. Too long. Aiden's breath caught. It is about me, he whispered. Elias's posture stiffened slightly, the smallest shift, but unmistakable. Elias smiled softly. I could say the same about you. Also didn't sleep well? Aiden's cheeks warmed. He looked away. Yeah, well, things have been complicated, Aiden muttered. Would you like to talk about that? Elias asked gently. Aiden hesitated, not sure how to begin. I keep thinking about. He started, then stopped abruptly. I keep thinking about you and what you said. Elias's posture grew very still. What I said, Elias repeated. Aiden nodded. You said, I'm not alone. That I'm not wrong. Elias's gaze softened painfully, beautifully. I meant it, Aiden inhaled sharply. The air between them felt heavier, charged. It shouldn't mean this much, Aiden whispered. But it does. Elias closed his eyes for a brief moment as if steadying himself. Aiden, Elias began softly. This room can make emotions feel amplified, he said softly. It's a safe space. A place where you're being seen, maybe for the first time. That kind of connection can feel intense. Aiden looked at him, then really looked. Elias was composed, but there was a tremor at the edge of his calm. A flicker of conflict in his eyes. Aiden's pulse quickened. You feel it too, don't you? Aiden said before he could stop himself. Elias's breath caught unmistakably. Aiden, a warning. A plea. A boundary wrapped in a whisper. Please don't lie, Aiden murmured. Elias's eyes softened with something raw, something he fought desperately to contain. I'm not lying, Elias said quietly, but acknowledging certain feelings. Doesn't mean acting on them, heat rushed to Aiden's face. Feelings, he echoed. So you do feel something? Elias looked pained deeply, genuinely pained. Aiden, this is dangerous territory. Why? Aiden demanded in a shaky voice. Because you're my therapist. Yes, Elias said. Because I'm responsible for your well-being. Because you came here hurting. Because my job is to help you heal, not complicate your life further, Aiden's voice cracked. You're not complicating anything. You're the only thing that makes sense lately. Elias inhaled sharply, a sound full of conflict. Aiden, listen to me, Elias said, leaning forward slightly. You are forming an attachment. A natural one, given everything you're going through. But it's my responsibility not to mislead you. Or hurt you. Aiden's throat tightened. So what I feel is just. Attachment? I didn't say that, Elias murmured. What you feel is real. But it's vulnerable. And I have to be careful with that. Aiden looked at him, eyes stinging. Can I ask you something? He whispered. Elias hesitated, then nodded. If we met somewhere else, Aiden asked. Not here. Not like this. Would things be different? The room went still. Time stopped. Elias held his gaze tortured, warm, unbearably honest. His voice, when it came, was barely audible. Yes, Aiden's breath caught, a sharp inhale that felt like breaking and healing all at once. Elias immediately straightened, the mask sliding back into place. But that's not the world we're in, he said, more steadily. Right now, I'm your therapist. And as long as that's true, there has to be a line. Aiden nodded slowly. And for the first time, he understood the shape of the barrier between them, not a wall of rejection, but a wall of responsibility. Elias wasn't pushing him away. He was holding himself back. Aiden whispered, that doesn't make this easier. Elias's voice softened painfully. I know. Silence hung between them, heavy, electric, full of the things neither could say. Aiden finally exhaled. So, what do I do with all of this? Elias answered gently, you feel it. You explore it. You understand it. And I'll help you navigate it safely. Aiden nodded slowly. It wasn't what he wanted. But it wasn't rejection. It was something more complicated and more hopeful. The session ended quietly. Aiden stood, heart pounding. Elias rose too, hands clasped behind him, as if physically restraining himself. Take care, Aiden, Elias said softly. Aiden paused at the doorway. You too, he whispered. You look like you need someone to take care of you too. Elias's eyes widened awry, startled vulnerability flashing in them. Then Aiden left, and Elias stayed behind, fingertips pressed to his forehead, breathing unevenly. Knowing that every session was bringing them closer to a line neither of them could ignore much longer. This concludes Chapter 5 of Forbidden Therapy. The tension between them has reached a fragile balance, one that will soon be shattered. In next chapter, unexpected accident will interrupt everything. And for the first time, the story will unfold through Elias's eyes, what he feels, what he fears, and what he can no longer deny. Thank you for listening. If you don't want to miss Chapter 6, where Elias's control begins to fail, make sure to subscribe my channel. See you next time.